Hello friends, welcome to Psych Studies, the complete psychology learning. We are going to study the statistics used in psychology, and the topic selected for today's lecture is measures of variability. When we talk about the measures of variability, we have four important measures of variability: the range, the quartile deviation, mean deviation, and standard deviation. In today's class, we are going to discuss two important topics, that is the range and quartile deviation. So let us go to the topic and see what is range and quartile deviation of statistics. The first topic is range. The range, you can say it is the crudest measure of variability. It is the maximum variation in a given data set. So when we talk about a range, the range will not tell us anything about the internal variation of the data. It is the maximum variation. When we say it is a maximum variation, it is the difference between the highest value to the lowest value. What is the range? The highest to the lowest, what is the range? That value only will be given by the range. So nothing about the internal variation is expressed here. So how to compute a range? So range is normally denoted by the letter R. So in statistics, range is denoted by R. R is equal to, from a given data set, we will select the maximum score minus minimum score. That is called range. So you can say highest value minus lowest value, that is range. And range is denoted by R. For example, range is not used as a measure of variability to assess the variation of any data, because it will not give any internal variation of data. It gives only the maximum variation, and that is the reason it is rarely used as a measure of variability. Still, to calculate range, let us take an example. Let us take a data. A score is given like this. For example, we can say 3, 2, 5, 8, 12, 23, 11, 18, and 20. Let us take this score. And then range would be what? Range is equal to, we know it is maximum score minus minimum score. So from the given data, you can say what is the maximum? Maximum is 23. So 23 minus, what is the minimum score given? Minimum is 2. So 23 minus 2 is equal to 21. So range can be calculated like this. Range is equal to 21. So it is nothing but the maximum variation of the given data set, right? So maximum score minus minimum score will give you the maximum variation from lowest to highest, or from highest to lowest. What is the maximum variation in the given data set? That is range. So when you say the piece of range can be easily calculated. Range is useful to find out only the maximum variation, etc. So let us go to the next measure of variability, that is quartile deviation, and quartile deviation is denoted by QD. And this is one of the very important measure of variability. So quartile deviation, you can say it is an index in which measures of dispersion of middle 50% scores in a distribution. When I say middle 50% scores, suppose we have a data set like this, and here we will say this is 25%, and this is last 25%, and this is the middle 50%. So the first 25% we will say it is Q1 or quartile 1, and the last 25% we will say it is Q3, that is quartile 3, and the middle 50% is this 50%. So quartile deviation, it is an index which measures dispersion of middle 50% scores in the given distribution. So now when we talk about quartile deviation is calculated using a very important formula. Quartile deviation is equal to Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. This is a very, very important formula to calculate quartile deviation. So you can note this. Quartile deviation is given by the formula QD is equal to Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. But before calculating QD, we have to calculate what is Q3 and what is Q1. So calculating Q1 and Q3 is the first two steps. After that only we can put these values in the given formula and we can calculate QD. So for example, let us start with an example. Let us take this data. It's a given data. Compute the QD for the given data X. The scores are given 4, 12, 6, 2, 10, 16, 8, 5 and 9. So when you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 items are there. And we need to find out the quartile deviation of this given data. So first, I have already told you, first what we need to do is we need to calculate Q1 and Q3. Once we calculate Q1 and Q3, then we can calculate quartile deviation by using the formula Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. So the first step is calculating Q1 and Q3. So Q1 stands for the first 25% of the given data and Q3 stands for the last 25% of the given data. We have already explained that quartile deviation is an index which measures the dispersion of middle 50% scores. So when you want to calculate the dispersion of middle 50%, we should understand what is the first 25% and what is the last 25%. That first 25% we will calculate as Q1 and the last 25% we will calculate as Q3. So now for this given data, let us calculate Q1 and Q3. To calculate Q1 and Q3, the first step of what we need to do is we have to write the given data in the ascending order. So let us write this given data in the ascending order. So this X will be equal to what? You can start with the 1. So 1, after that 2, then 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12 and 16. So now we have arranged the given data in ascending order. We have arranged the data in the ascending order. After arranging it in the ascending order, we need to find out Q1 and Q3. So Q1 is the first quartile. Q1 is the first quartile. So for calculating Q1, we have a formula. Q1 is equal to n plus 1 by 4th score. N plus 1 by 4th score. That is the Q1. Now let us take n is equal to what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 scores in the given data. So we have n is equal to 9 here. So what will be Q1? Q1 will be equal to 9 plus 1 divided by 4. 9 plus 1 divided by 4th score. That means which is equal to 10 by 4, which is equal to 2.5 the score, 2.5 score. So now it is the main point here. 2.5 score means you can say second score plus half of third score minus second score. Third minus second. Very, very important point here. We need to find out what? We need to find out 2.5 score. So we want to find out 2.5 score. To find out this 2.5 score, students, you have to take it like this. Second score plus half of third minus second. Understand very clearly. Second score plus half of third minus second. Now let us compute it. Second score is what? Second score here is 2. So we can say 2 plus half of third minus second. Third one is what? Third one is 4. 4 minus 2. So now I can take it as 2 plus half of 2. So now you got half of 2 is 1. 1 plus 2. 3. So I got Q1 is equal to 3. Very, very important. I got Q1 is equal to 3. The value of Q1 I got 3. Understand it very clearly how we are calculating Q1 and Q3. Only after calculating Q1 and Q3, you can put it in this formula Q1 minus Q3 by 2 to calculate quartile deviation. So calculating Q1 is very, very important. Calculating Q3 is important. Then substituting the value of Q1 and Q3 in the given formula, you can easily find out what is quartile deviation. So how we have calculated Q1? First, we have to arrange the given data in the ascending order and then count how many data are given. Here in this case, we have n is equal to 9 and Q1 is calculated using the formula n plus 1 divided by 4th score. N plus 1. So here it will be 9 plus 1, 10th by 4. 10 by 4 is equal to 2.5th score. So if it is a second score, directly we can take 2. If it is a third score, directly we can take it as 4. But here we got it is 2.5th score. So when I say 2.5th score, it is after 2 before third score. So after 2, that is why we have taken second score plus half of third minus second. Half of third minus second. This step is very, very important. So half of third minus second, 4 minus 2 you got 2, half of 2, 1. So 2 plus 1 we got 3. So we have calculated Q1 is equal to 3. Now let us calculate Q3. So for Q3 we have the formula Q3 is equal to 3 into n plus 1 divided by 4th score. Understand the difference between the Q1 formula and Q3 formula. For Q1, we have used the formula n plus 1 divided by 4th score. For Q3, what we are taking? For Q3, we are taking 3 times of n plus 1 by 4th score. So understand the difference. Now here we can say Q3 will be equal to what? Q3 will be equal to 3 into n plus 1, that is 9 plus 1 all divided by 4, that is 4th score. So Q3 will be equal to what? Q3 will be equal to 3 into 9 plus 1. 9 plus 1 is 10. 10 into 3, 30. 30 divided by 4. So 30 divided by 4 will be equal to 7.5th score. Understand it very clearly. 3 into 9 plus 1 divided by 4. 9 plus 1 is 10. 10 into 3, 30. 30 divided by 4, 7.5. 7.5th score. So now again, what is 7.5th score? 7.5th score can be calculated like this. 7.5th score is equal to 7th score plus half of 8th minus 7. So 7th score we have seen. 7th score is equal to what? 7th score we have, what was our ascending order? After writing the ascending order, what was our data? 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12 and 16. So this was our data. So what was the 7th score? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7th score is 10. 10 plus half of 8th minus 7th. 8th one is 12. 12 minus 10. So 12 minus 10 is 2. Half of 2 is 1. So 10 plus 1 is equal to 11. So we got Q3 is equal to 11. So we got two values, Q1 and Q3. Initially we got Q1 is equal to 3 and here we got Q3 is equal to 11. Once we got Q1 and Q3, now it is easy for us to calculate quartile deviation. How quartile deviation? Quartile deviation is equal to quartile deviation of the group data we will discuss later. Quartile deviation for this particular thing. Quartile deviation is equal to, what is that? Q3 minus Q1 by 2. So what is Q3 minus Q1? Q3 minus Q1 is 11 minus 3 by 2, which is equal to 8 minus 8 by 2, which is equal to 4. So for this given data, we have calculated quartile deviation is equal to 4. So QD is equal to 4. But this was an ungrouped data. So quartile deviation for a grouped data calculation will be a little different. Let us see how to calculate the quartile deviation of a grouped data. For calculating the quartile deviation of a grouped data, we have the formula is same. Quartile deviation is given by Q3 minus Q1 by 2. This is the formula for quartile deviation. But for a grouped data, calculation of Q3 and Q1 are different. How we can calculate Q1 and Q3? Q1 is for a grouped data. I am talking about a grouped data. For a grouped data, Q1 is given by lower limit plus n by 4 minus f divided by f1 into I. You can remember this formula. You can note this formula. It is very important. What is this LL? LL stands for lower limit of the Q1 class. So first we need to find out what is Q1 class and what is Q3 class. Q1 class for calculation of Q1 and Q3 class for calculation of Q3. So Q1 is calculated using lower limit of the Q1 class plus n by 4. N is the total frequency and capital F is the cumulative frequency of the class interval just before the Q1 class. Understand it very clearly. Capital F indicates the cumulative frequency of the class interval just lower than the class Q1 class. And F1, this F1, small f1 indicates frequency of the Q1 class, and I is the class interval, that is size of the class. So I is the size of the class. F, capital F is the cumulative frequency of the class interval just lower the Q1 class, just before the Q1 class. Small f1, that is the frequency of the Q1 class, and N stands for the total frequency, and LL stands for lower limit of the Q1 class. So first we have to identify what is the Q1 class. Once you identify what is Q1 class, then you can find out what is lower limit of the Q1 class, what is the total frequency N, what is capital F, that is the cumulative frequency of the class interval just before the Q1 class, or you can say lower Q1 class, and small f1 indicates frequency of the Q1 class, and I indicates the class interval, or you can say the size of the class interval. Now using this formula, we can find out what is Q1. Similarly, we need to find out what is Q3. So to find out Q3, we have a formula. Q3 is equal to LL plus 3n by 4 minus F divided by F3 into I. So you can understand what is the difference in this formula. Q1 and Q3 almost the same. Here n by 4. For Q1 we will take n by 4. For Q3 we will take 3n by 4. And for Q1 we will take small f1. Here we will take small f3. What is small f3? We will see, and remaining all remain same. So here again, before calculating Q3, we need to identify which is Q3 class. After identification of Q3 class, we have this formula LL, that is lower limit of the Q3 class, and 3n by 4. N stands for the total frequency, and capital F, cumulative frequency of the class just below the Q3 class, that is just before the Q3 class, and F3 is the frequency of the Q3 class, and I again the class interval. Now using these two formula, we will get what? We will get Q1 and Q3. After calculating Q1 and Q3, just substitute the values here and you can calculate what is quartile deviation using the formula Q3 minus Q1 by 2. So quartile deviation formula will not change, that is Q3 minus Q1 by 2, but the method of calculating Q3 and Q1 for a grouped data is different from that is done with the ungrouped data. Ungrouped data, just we can see by writing it in the ascending order, we can find out what is Q1 and Q3. For a grouped data, we have to use this formula for Q1 and Q3. So initially we have to arrange it in the given order, then we have to calculate the cumulative frequency, then we have to identify Q1 class for calculating Q1 and Q3 class for calculating Q3. Then after computing Q1 and Q3, we have to substitute the values in the given formula to find out the Quartile deviation. So I hope it is clear to you. So you can note these two important formula, very, very important. And these all are very important when you do research in statistics. I mean, when you do research in psychology, all your data calculations, everything, Quartile deviation is one of the very important measure of variability. So let us take it with the help of an example. A question is given here. Calculate the Quartile deviation for the given data. And here we have class interval is given 150 to 155, 155 to 160, 160 to 165, 165 to 170, 170 to 175, 175 to 180, 180 to 185. So total we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 classes. And the frequency is given 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 5 and 1. Before starting this, the first step of what we need to do is we have to find the cumulative frequency and total frequency. Here you can see sigma f, that is total frequency. Sigma f will be equal to what? Sigma f is equal to 4 plus 5, 9, 19, then 19, 34, 54 and 60. So here you got 60 is the total, which is equal to n. So we got n is equal to sigma f, that is equal to 60. So I can write here n is equal to 60, that is sigma f, that is total frequency. And let us add one more column here, which is called cumulative frequency. So cumulative frequency will start with 4, then 4 plus 5, 4 plus 5, 9, 9 plus 10, 19, 19 plus 15, 34, 34 plus 20, 54, 54 plus 5, 59, 59 plus 1 and 60. So we got cumulative frequency table also we have made. Now we have a formula, Quartile deviation is equal to Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. So before using this formula, we need to compute what is Q3 and what is Q1. To compute Q1 and to compute Q3, the first step of what we need to do is identify which one is Q1 class and identify which is Q3 class. Identify which is Q1 class and identify which is Q3 class. So now, in order to find the Q1 class, what is Q1? We have total n is equal to what? We have total n is equal to 60. N is equal to 60. So first find out what is n by 4. N by 4 will be equal to 60 by 4, which is equal to 15. Now let us see 15 falls under which category. So here you can say, using the cumulative frequency, the first class can hold a frequency of only up to 4. Second class can hold a frequency, cumulative frequency of maximum 9. Third class can hold a maximum cumulative frequency of 19. But whereas our n by 4 is equal to 15. So 15 falls below this 19. So our Q1 class is 160 to 165. This is the Q1 class. Understand it very, very clearly. What we did, we have calculated n by 4. N by 4 for finding out Q1 class. To identify Q1 class, first what we need to do is find out what is n by 4. We have seen n by 4 is equal to 60 by 4, which is equal to 15. Now see, this 15 falls in which class as per the cumulative frequency. As per the cumulative frequency, the first class cumulative frequency is 4. For second class, cumulative frequency is 9. But our value is 15. 15 cannot fall in the first two classes. 15 falls in the third class because the cumulative frequency of the third class maximum is 19. So 15 falls within this 19. So our Q1 class is equal to 160 to 165. Similarly, we need to find out what is Q3. So to calculate Q3 class, for calculating Q3 class, we need to find out what is 3n by 4. So 3n by 4 is equal to what? 3 into 60 by 4. So we got it as 3 into 60 by 4 is equal to 45. Now let us see 45 falls in which class as per the given cumulative frequency. Here you can say in the first class cumulative frequency is 4, second 9, third class 19, fourth class 34, fifth class 54. So this 45 falls within this 54. So our Q3 class, your Q3 class will be equal to 170 to 175. So this is our Q3 class. Identification of Q1 class and identification of Q3 class are very, very important. If you calculate Q1 and Q3, then it is easy for you to calculate Quartile deviation once you are clear with the Q1 and Q3. So now I hope it is clear how to calculate, how to find out Q1 class and Q3 class. Now let us put it in the formula. We have Q1. Let's calculate Q1. So now Q1 is given by which formula? Q1 is equal to lower limit plus n by 4 minus f divided by f1 into I. So now Q1 class we got Q1 class is equal to 160 to 165. So what is the lower limit of this class? Lower limit of this class is 160. So I can put 160 plus n by 4. N by 4 means 60 by 4. N is 60. 60 by 4 minus cumulative frequency. Capital F indicates cumulative frequency of the class just before the Q1 class. Just before the Q1 class, we can say cumulative frequency is 9 divided by F1, frequency of the Q1 class, that is 10. Frequency, it is not cumulative frequency, it is normal frequency, into I is the class interval, which is 5. I hope it is very, very clear to you. We have seen cumulative frequency n equal to 60. So n by 4 will be equal to 60 by 4. Capital F is the cumulative frequency of the class just before the Q1 class. Cumulative frequency of the class just before the Q1 class was 9. And F1 is not cumulative frequency, it is a normal frequency of the Q1 class. So normal frequency of the Q1 class, you can find it as 10. And I is what? I is the class size, or you can say class interval, which is 5. Because 160 to 165, it is 5. So putting all these values, we got Q1 is equal to what? 160 plus, here it will become 15, 60 by 4, 15. 15 minus 9 by 10 into 5. So this will become 160 plus, you can cut this 5 and this 10 2 times. 15 minus 9, 6. 6 by 2, 3. So we got Q1 is equal to 163. These calculations you can check. So we got Q1 is equal to 163. So let me write it here. Q1 is equal to 163. Now let us calculate what is Q3. Again, Q3 is given by formula what? Q3 is equal to lower limit plus 3n by 4 minus f divided by f3 into I. So now we have seen the Q3 class. Q3 class we got 170 to 175. So lower limit will be equal to what? Q3 is equal to 170 plus 3n by 4. We have n is equal to 60. So 3n by 4 is equal to 3 into 60 divided by 4, which is equal to 45. So we have 45 minus frequency F is cumulative frequency of the class before Q3 class, that is 34. You can pause the video and you can see the class. Okay, 34 divided by F3. F3 is the frequency of the not cumulative frequency of the Q3 class, which is 20 into class interval we got 5. So Q3 will be equal to what? Q3 will be equal to 170 plus 45 minus 34 divided by 20. This 5 and 20 you can cut 4 times. 45 minus 34 will be equal to 11. 11 by 4, which is equal to 170 plus 2.75. So we got it as 172.75. That is your Q3. Now let us calculate quartile deviation. So quartile deviation is given by what? Quartile deviation is equal to Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. So what is Q3? Q3 is 172.75. What is Q1? 163 divided by 2. So we got this is equal to 4.875. So quartile deviation for this particular data is given by 4.875. So this is the way we can calculate quartile deviation of a grouped data. I hope this is clear to you, and I request you students, if you are new to this channel, I request you kindly subscribe, and whenever I upload new videos on statistics for psychology, the notification will come to you and take your preparations to the next level. Thank you for watching once again. Bye bye.